When Diablo Immortal was announced a few years ago, fans were in an uproar at the idea of the next big Diablo game being on mobile. Though the game would then be announced for PC and a new Diablo main series game would be announced, fans were still annoyed. But did you know since the game was released, it's made over $300 million? Well, stay tuned to today's video as we discuss its earnings. First up, Diablo Immortal, despite its controversy, has made reportedly over $300 million since its launch. Diablo Immortal is a Blizzard mobile-focused entry into its biggest action RPG franchise and has surprisingly earned well over $300 million in revenue since it launched, according to recent reports. For reference, another hugely popular action RPG mobile game such as Raid: Shadow Legends recorded its earnings back in 2021. The game had reached about $370 million during that year alone, which puts Diablo Immortal ahead of the curve, despite it only launching this past summer. It's ahead of the curve financially, but not exactly by its fan base and its critics. Well, before its launch, Diablo Immortal was the target of very harsh criticism as well as fan backlash, and it all made a lot of sense. Though many reviewers describe the game as very satisfying and fun to play, while also being super consistent with the Diablo franchise, a lot of players were very outraged by the fact that the game had egregious microtransactions and the economy was heavily based around them. This took the fans to review bombing the game in protest. Mike Ybarra, Blizzard Entertainment president, came out and defended the various microtransactions within the game, stating that the vast majority of players don't pay anything at all. This comment did not sit with fans very well and also didn't suit their anger, as fans are faced with a system that aggressively pushes microtransactions towards you, or else you had to deal with a massive, unterrible grind. Despite all of the negative sentiment around gamers and this game, the strategy seems to be paying off very well for Blizzard. This isn't a very literal sense, as ever since the game launched about 5 months ago, Diablo Immortal has now earned well over $300 million worldwide. This figure consists of about $155 million earned from the game's initial launch in around 60 countries, and then an insane $144 million from a separate China-only version of the game that's being handled by NetEase Games. This Chinese publisher works with some very huge names in gaming by porting over their games into China with all of their censorships included. This company is secondary to Tencent when it comes to the country's major and biggest video game corporations. One of the biggest things to note about the Chinese release of the game is that it came out over a month and a half after it was released elsewhere. Despite all of this, the Chinese revenue stream has nearly matched the rest of the world, showing that this game has a massive audience outside of its main locations. Out of any of the regions that the game is available in, China is the country with the largest number of downloads and continues to be the top. It has around 4.15 million people playing it out of the global 21.4 million. This is roughly 19% of all downloads throughout the globe. But compared to how much money those players are spending on Diablo Immortal, it proves how integral the Chinese market is to games. Diablo Immortal is a game that has been included among the worst microtransactions in gaming history, and this is yet to be changed as of the writing of this video. Despite an industry full of heavy media and fan criticism, the financial gain from Diablo Immortal cannot be denied. Sadly, though, this has taken the company down a worrying and dangerous path, as many gamers are already seeing changes to Blizzard's or their properties. If any other pay-to-win or at least pay-to-win faster models come out into their games, gamers are likely to be wondering how much more of it they'll see in other Blizzard properties such as Warcraft or Hearthstone. Diablo Immortal also isn't the only Blizzard title that's troubled with its microtransactions, as the recently released Overwatch 2 has received even heavier criticism. Going off the back of the first game, where every cosmetic was free and earnable through in-game challenges, Overwatch 2 is a stain on the community. The only reason you would ever purchase anything in the original Overwatch is if you didn't have time to play for it or you just wanted to purchase something outright. With the introduction of the free-to-play model for Overwatch 2, Blizzard decided to get rid of loot boxes altogether and make players purchase their skins rather than earn them over time. The extreme prices within the Overwatch 2 shop have now been the focus of several backlash groups on social media. Fans can only hope that the path Blizzard is going down changes, and they double down on a different strategy as things aren't going well. However, chances seem slim as Blizzard is going down a terrible route and have been doing so ever since the last few years. It's an awful thing to see, as Diablo and Blizzard themselves were very well respected just a few years back. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all of the terrible microtransactions within Diablo Immortal and what the future of Blizzard might look like. Finally, Blizzard are now looking to follow up on Diablo Immortal with a Mobile Warcraft game. Despite all of the backlash towards Diablo Immortal, the game has been highly successful in terms of its monetizations, leading Blizzard to attempt to introduce another of their bigger franchises into the mobile space, with the possible release of the Warcraft mobile game. We got wind of this as Blizzard has recently posted new job listings on various websites where the company are interested in hiring people for an unannounced live service Warcraft mobile release. They cited a significant room for growth for the IP, as Blizzard is now hoping to bring Warcraft back into the global limelight as well. This isn't much of a big leap, as Diablo Immortal has been the inspiration for them since the $300 million that they've earned from it. This new Warcraft unannounced project could spell disaster for the community though, as they're starting to fall out of love with Blizzard and its practices. There was a previous Warcraft game in the works by NetEase, but that has sadly been canceled. Blizzard is now hoping to take their global franchise into the mobile market by claiming a new sort of game arena by the looks of it. This brand new hire for a Warcraft game seems to be aligning with the players' needs and the company's business goals for this sort of franchises, was also maintaining the health of the in-game economy alongside other tasks. This quote-unquote next great game in the Warcraft franchise could therefore be something very similar to Diablo Immortal, and fans are not looking forward to it. All of the controversies around Diablo Immortal's microtransactions are known throughout the community nowadays, and quite simply, fans are not comfortable with spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in an in-game market just to stay competitive on the ladder. They would much rather farm to earn all of these rewards and maybe pay a small battle pass system if necessary. Activision Blizzard has now been heavily criticized since the microtransactions became a huge controversy on the internet, but they will not be backing down from their aggressive monetization scheme anytime soon. As initial reports show, this new Warcraft game is also going to be based around these insensitive and disgusting microtransaction schemes. On mobile devices alone, Diablo Immortal made over $100 million, with the rest of its earnings being in China and on the PC release. Many players have put several thousands of dollars into the game just to attempt to get a roll at some of the best gear in the game. Rather than Blizzard letting players farm for this through in-game events or gameplay, they instead have to shell out from their wallets and try to get a chance at getting the gear. It's virtually impossible to stay on top of the ladder without spending thousands of dollars every few months. Now that the Warcraft IP is being pulled into the scheme, it's not a huge stretch to imagine all of these terrible microtransactions taking over the game. We don't want to see this, as Warcraft is one of the most beloved Blizzard franchises they have ever released. However, on the other side of Warcraft, we're seeing Blizzard re-release every expansion from the original Warcraft game through the Warcraft Classic, and that seems to be doing well in the community. It's going to keep the old MMORPG fans occupied for quite a while, as Blizzard slowly works on a conniving and awful microtransaction scheme for their brand new mobile game. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on everything we've discussed in today's video, especially about the awful microtransactions that Blizzard has been pushing as of recently. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know in the comment section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Goodbye.